and welcome back to the weekly anime and manga news for the week ending October 10th, 2020. Let us get to the news, beginning with an upcoming CGI anime series coming to Netflix from Studio Orange. This is very exciting. Orange is the studio behind Land of the Lustrous and the recent Beastars. So Netflix has nabbed this new anime series called Godzilla Singular Point. It'll come out in 2021 globally, which is exciting. It'll be directed by Atsushi Takahashi, who directed the Blue Exorcist movie, the Doraemon Kachikochi movie, as well as Ride Back, which I liked a lot. And the plan is to combine hand-drawn and CG animation styles. The original character designs will be done by Kazue Kato, creator of Blue Exorcist. The composer behind several Doraemon films and Yoimushi Pedal is doing the music. And To Enjo, author of The Empire of Corpses and Other Things, is scriptwriter. Sounds like an interesting cast. This has nothing to do with the other Godzilla CGI stuff on Netflix currently, which I think we're all very happy to hear about.
Why? Is there a problem?
Not well liked, I'll put it that way. Those
it was hard to get into.
Yeah.
Is it like the Sci-Fi Channel when they do a movie and it's just like, oh, just no, kind of that kind of cringy?
No, it's not so much cringy. It's just really just hard to get into.
I haven't seen them. Apparently, they're very talky.
Yeah.
And they're just, very plot heavy for a Godzilla movie. Where it's like I want to see Godzilla destroy things.
Giant monster. It's not really a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I love kaiju. I love kaiju movies. So when I saw that the first one was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the first one came up on Netflix, and I tried getting into it, and there was so much talking. I'm like, no. Talk a little bit, the monster comes out. That's what you do. This is the kaiju movie. That's what happens here.
All the model tanks get squished, and the airplane's knocked out of the air.
Exactly.
That's the fun stuff.
Exactly. And you see the before that happens. Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I love those. They're just awesome.
They are awesome.
As a kid, I so wanted to go and be like, just find like the set and be like, oh, this is so cool.
So before the plague hit me, I actually did. I forgot. I did get through the first episode of Beastars.
Ooh.
Stars.
And
I saw what you guys meant by the CGI on that. It was really impressive. If they're working on this, then I'll give it a go because I did like what I saw at Beastars.
Yeah. I'm very curious. There is an image posted. It looks like just basically character designs by the guy. Nothing CGI about it. So I'm curious to see how they're going to adapt that, what they're going to do with it. Because it's a studio that's doing interesting things. So very curious.
I will eagerly anticipate what you guys think of it when it happens, because I don't have Netflix.
Yeah.
So
the Netflix jail strikes again, sadly. Moving on to a bit more upcoming anime news. Upcoming adaptation of a light novel series called I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years and Maxed Out My Level. From what I've heard, it is a sort of slice of life isekai series. The main character, I do love this concept, basically was an office worker and died in the office, from overwork. Literally worked herself to death, and so reincarnated as an undying, unaging witch, and so decided, you know what, I'm gonna do the minimal possible work, just as much as I need to survive, and that's all. So she's been going out and just killing slimes, killing one slime a day, just enough to pay for her food, and all that stuff. But now that she's been doing that for 300 years, her level has inexorably built up to where she's insanely powerful. So what's going to happen? So clearly a bit of the Didn't I tell you to make my abilities average in the next life kind of a concept, but definitely looks a little bit more fun and light. The 8th volume will be released October 27th of this year in English. The novel series ranked at number 9 on the 2019 edition of the Kono Light Novel ga Sugoi, or This Light Novel is Awesome guidebook. So definitely, highly anticipated in that sense. What do you guys think about this one? This gonna catch your eye?
I'm on it. I'm watching it.
Conceptually, idea of like living forever doing the most minimal amount of work works for me.
Well, it's also interesting that they're doing the office worker thing, because the one they're doing this season, Kamatachi ni Hirowareta Otoko, same kind of thing. It's a guy who's an office worker and he works for a black company, and they overtime him and work him so hard he dies. It's just like,
wow.
Okay. So this is now the next thing. It's not just office worker who gets pushed in front of a train or office worker who trips on the curb and hits his head. Now it's office worker who's worked to death at their job. So that's interesting social commentary.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
respect.
Social commentary.
Interesting. Yeah.
Just saying. Curious to see their take on that. Hey, who gotta love it. Speaking of which, we have an upcoming adaptation from NHK World. They'll be streaming the anime adaptation of a manga in February 2021, so just a few months away. The title is Maiko-san chi no Makanai-san, or Makanai in the Maiko Lodge. This is the story of a young woman who works as a cook in a lodge for geisha. So when geisha, basically, they do their work, they come home, they live in this lodge. And so she is the cook there. Interestingly, the idea is that she started doing this job after finishing junior high school and leaving home. So presumably she does not have a high school education, which is kind of interesting. And a friend of hers is an apprentice geisha, a Michael. And it's going to be about apparently her experiences and the life of being a geisha and then coming home and putting up your feet for a little bit. So sounds pretty relaxing, and again, sort of a slice of life-ish kind of a thing. Maybe some cooking involved. Who knows?
This totally appeals to me. Midnight Stories, Tokyo, that show. John, if you ever get Netflix, you should give that a try. Or if you can find it, give it a try. This sounds totally up my alley. Sounds like stories and slice of life and just an interesting actually. I mean, cooking for geisha.
Totally.
I mean, that sounds totally interesting to me. I would totally buy into that.
I would totally enjoy watching that. I think that's the same kind of thing. It's like there's going to be some interesting stories that they could weave in there. Is it the Geisha of Gion? Is that the book?
Familiar.
But you know what I mean? It's like that would be not that you would adapt the book in and of itself wholly, but that's, you know what I mean? Like her stories where she describes her experience being a geisha and being trained, you know, that would be so interesting to see that, like, bits and pieces dribbled into that anime to give you some of that flavor. Yeah. Like, oh gosh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. Plus cooking stuff. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Cooking.
Always cooking. Always want.
Doesn't like cooking stuff.
Right. You know. Come on, folks.
Oh yeah, I've been watching the Izakaya.
Oh, Izakaya. Yes.
And it's like, I love the fantasy world that they're in, where like all the palace guards keep coming in and eating, and they're like, "Yeah, give us a what's on tap." And I was like, "What are they talking about?" They set a beer down. I'm like, you know, that's pretty clever. Somebody in another dimension was like, they have no idea what a beer is, and so it's like you call it do you want what's on tap? Like, yeah, I'll have a what's on tap.
Whoa, what's on tap?
And just them cooking, and then the little postscript part where they talk one episode, they'll talk to the chef who makes the dish that's in the show, and the next where they talk to a food critic.
Yeah. And
he walks around Tokyo in different sections of the town and finds a restaurant that serves that. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, that was fun to watch and makes me really hungry.
Oh yes, I was just gonna say yeah. The problem with that is then if you're gonna watch Izakaya, just before you do, I would recommend going on Google Maps and finding the nearest Asian market.
Yeah.
Just saying. You might want to do that. Moving along to some news of some controversy this week. The latest Higurashi series came out, and minor spoiler alerts. It's not what folks thought it might be. The true title has been revealed for the new Higurashi series. It is being called Higurashi When They Cry Go, G-O-U. It was revealed this is the creator's intent to not reveal this title until episode 1 came out and people found out what the new series is actually doing and what's going on there. They also released a special specially commissioned key visual for the series as part of a direct collaboration between Funimation and Kadokawa. And they've also revealed a new, a particular voice actor, a particular character. I will not spoil that. So, yes, we now know what's going on with the new Higurashi series, and I see Steve with the thing in the head. Yep.
Pained look.
Pained look. Is this the thing you were looking forward to? Is the thing that you were not aware of?
You saw some of it, or you didn't see some of it, or what?
No. Higurashi is my favorite thing ever. No, never, ever. No, just no. Did we come out with the news? Is
this new, or is this a retelling of the original Higurashi?
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? It's like, is this a sequel?
It's the old ones you never could tell because they were kind of like had that weird reincarnating that they're talking about. But it's just for those of you who like pain, things being ripped off, stabbed in the head with a Santoku knife. Or no, actually watching a small child stab herself in the head with a Santoku knife.
Right.
Things like that, this will be for you. It is definitely a Goro fan thing. Now, for all I know is that the new Higurashi could be just a cute kawaii romp, but I don't think so.
So it is retelling. It's retelling the story like more accurately to the.
No. What's happening is this is not a apparently. This was pitched as a remake.
Oh,
they were going back.
Death and Destruction.
Yeah,
a remake.
Basically, they're going back and they're going to retell the story. No, this is a new original story with the same. It's essentially an alternate timeline, from what I understand. It is a whole.
Okay, this is what that statement.
What the hell?
This is what that statement means to me. New inventive ways for small, cute children to kill themselves.
Yes.
They're murdered by other older psychotic children.
But apparently, like, it does tie in because Higurashi has this weird sort of time loop thing going on. So like it's not like alternate timeline in the sense of we're just going to go in a completely different direction. Like it is worth apparently exploring this because you will understand more things because they're going to do that. But it's not what anyone thought it was going to be, which is not a shock because it's Higurashi. Higurashi
now, does it stand alone?
Probably not.
Like, do you have to have?
I don't think
Higurashi
anything in Higurashi stands alone. I think everything in Higurashi relies on everything else.
Is everything else?
See, all you dark anime fans, God, too much.
Yeah, and apparently,
I do watch dark anime. I do watch it, and I'm fine with that. But for some reason, Higurashi really just for me, it just pushes that button hard and twist with a twist. It's just
And according to Spin,
very uncomfortable.
Wikipedia lists a new director, so they may have literally swapped directors on everyone. Jesus. You thought it was this person, no, it's actually So Higurashi messing with its fans yet again. And for those not familiar, Higurashi was like its original conceit was it appeared to be a cute visual novel, and then you start playing it and horrible things start happening to the characters kind of out of nowhere, and it turns out to be this whole horrible, horror story.
Horrible.
Yes, very horrific.
Needs more moe.
No. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along to much happier news in general. The Violet Evergarden film has made over 1 billion yen, totaling just over $10.58 million US in theaters, over 700,000 tickets sold. It had the highest per screen average for 3 consecutive weeks since opening. So this film is doing quite well in Japan. It had a 840,000 yen per screen average previous weekend. Opened September 18th, where it ranked at number 2 in its opening weekend, which is awesome. It was really going to open on April 24th, but of course, COVID. Other interesting news besides that is that Kyoto Animation posted the first 10 minutes for free online. I believe it is Japanese only. I don't believe there are any subtitles on it. I have not checked personally. But apparently it is on YouTube. There's just the first 10 minutes of Violet Evergarden right there if you want to check that out. It's probably going to look fairly decent, I'm going to guess, if you want to check that out. And give folks a taste of Violet Evergarden. Have you guys seen any of this yet? I admit this is something that has passed me by.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I've been strongly recommended to see it. I think Phil watched it like a month or so ago or more, and he texted me. Like, wow. Random night. He's like, "Have you seen Violet Evergarden?" I'm like, "No, it's I've heard enough about it. I would like to eventually get to." "Oh, you got to see it. We loved it." I'm like, "Wow, okay, that's a really strong recommendation." So, I got to get to it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
And now we can see a little bit.
Woohoo!
Also in anime film news, Funimation has confirmed, along with Aniplex USA, that they will be releasing the Demon Slayer film in North American theaters in early 2021. To be clear, that could mean June, but still. This is Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, because all of our titles need to be long now. This will be a sequel to the anime series. So it's not a retelling, not anything like that. It is a sequel story. Excuse me. Again, thank you. There we go. Yeah. It is opening in Japan in 6 days from now, as of recording this. And to give you an idea of how weird things are. The film will begin screening in all 38 IMAX theaters in Japan on the same day. Yeah. So they seem to be expecting some interest from Otaku. Granted, anime film releases are usually for like 2 or 3 weeks, so they're not going to be there like forever. In fact, IMAX will probably be there for like 1 weekend and then other theaters. But still, pretty cool. Also, of course, you'll get a manga volume for showing up to those Japanese theaters. Rengoku Volume 0, of which there are only 4.5 million copies. Drawn by the original manga creator, Koyoharu Gotoge. And it shows Rengoku's first mission. Main staff members from the TV series are returning for the movie. That is the plan there. We are going to get to see that in American U.S. theaters in less than a year, which is pretty cool. Have you guys gotten a chance to check out Demon Slayer at all? I forget.
I've watched episode 1. And I liked the style. I felt I could maybe get into the story, but I never made it back to it since then. it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought it was really interesting. I liked the character designs. I liked, even if it sounds kind of dopey, I really liked their outfits and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And subsequently, the cons that used to, have where you could go and be there in person and see people face to face, those things, I know it's a wild concept now. But I love the people who are coming in their Kimetsu no Yaiba cosplay outfits. I mean, spot on, beautiful looking stuff. And so it's got me interested in it. It's just, I can't, again, I've got to get through all this stuff. And like I'm saying to Steve, got to get to the backlog. It's in the backlog.
Exactly. Yeah.
I might be able to sweeten the deal for you there, John.
Ooh.
I have something happens a little later in the series that might sort of change things around. Rem shows up. No, I'm kidding. So
I gotta go. How do you turn this off?
And I'm curious if this would kind of change your mind, because I had a similar reaction, and somebody told me this. I went back and watched it, and I was like, I think it's episode 2 or 3.
I just gotta watch one more episode.
The boy and the girl, I think it's episode 2, come to like another stopping point, and they come across like a zombie. And a zombie attacks them, and the girl kills the zombie. The one with the,
Yeah, Netsuko.
Netsuko, I think.
Netsuko.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the setup in part 1. It's like, she's infected, but she still recognizes her brother, and that seems to calm her down. And it's like, okay, so I know this is going to be like him, her, and he's going on that hero's journey, start of the journey, and he's looking for that cure for that thing to make her back to normal. So I figured she would be literally the strong, superhuman strong, and he's got to contain that. So yeah, that makes, that would make a lot of sense.
Okay. All right. See, I was assuming that she would not be allowed to fight because she would be too strong. That they would sort of hold that back as long as possible. Instead, they seem to be pushing on that. Now, granted, shortly thereafter, like she does get sort of sidelined so he can kind of level up, basically.
Right.
To kind of make that, and it is very clearly a manga thing of, we need to figure some way of making him more powerful. She falls asleep for a while. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, she whatever.
Apparently you stick a piece of bamboo. That would, now that I've said that and I've seen all the costumes of it, that would have been really funny if it had been just a big hunk of sugarcane. And like all she does is she's just chewing on a sugarcane piece like the whole time. It's like, it's nothing about like keeping her fangs under control. It's literally about like, ooh, sugar. Ooh, that's nice. That would be kind of a funny thing.
I'd be up for that. And I'm just
anybody
curious,
who goes out in the world does that in an anime, pay me royalties on that idea right there.
The other thing is Demon Slayer has just an absurd action animation budget, so I can't imagine what this movie's gonna look like. Holy smokes!
Well, just episode 1 was like, ow, you guys, you whoever is in your marketing department went out, did fantastic work because you've got money. Like,
yeah, and that bar stays high from what I've seen. Moving on to a few notes also this week. So if you guys have anything to add, please let me know. Otherwise, just a few things to note. Naruto will be released on Blu-ray, the original Naruto series from way back when. Viz will be releasing that first 27 episodes coming out on Blu-ray November 3rd, which is cool, standard sort of releases.
By the time they get to present.
Exactly, yes. We have a ways to go on that. But, that's the way that cookie crumbles. There's going to be a second season of the Sorceress Stabber Orphan remake, which kind of surprises me because that did not seem to be a big deal. But hey, we're getting more of that January 20th. I saw
Steve?
I saw the first episode.
And? Good? Bad?
The main character is okay. It's a remake of a '90s fantasy anime. Imagine '90s anime fantasy TV series, right? Imagine the stereotype of that. That is Orphan. Not complaining. It is very much that thing. It is that animated today.
Oh.
So, characters kind of an asshole.
I saw that
not horrible, but
no. When I saw the description, I was like, oh, it could be.
Yeah.
I'll wait to see what people say.
Yeah, character's kind of a jerk. He picks on people. There are other characters around. It just has all of those tropes. Nothing's really been updated that I saw. It has a really neat concept. I don't think it's a spoiler. Guy's interested in a girl who gets basically turned into a dragon against her will. And the dragon is now what people are hunting and trying to kill. And so he has to go and defeat the dragon, but then turn her back into the girl as opposed to kill it. So that's the kind of conceit there. But it's just very 90s, ha ha ha, we're being funny now because we have to be funny now. Kind of stuff. And it's just, maybe it gets better. Just episode 1, I was like,
I was hoping for more sorcerer stabbing.
Yeah, exactly. That does happen. But, whatever.
That's each episode is very episodic. Each episode ends up with a different sorcerer getting stabbed.
There we go. Yeah. Kunihiko Ikuhara, he of Revolutionary Girl Utena, Sarazan Mai, and Yurikuma Arashi fame, has announced at New York Comic Con Metaverse that he is working on his next work right now. Although it is not Utena related, he said he tries not to forget the sense of freedom Utena gave him. And so we will see where that takes us. I mean, not much to know other than he's working on something else, and he's interesting. The Oishinbo manga is getting an anime adaptation. They launched a YouTube channel for that, and they're streaming the first episode of the anime with English subtitles for free. And they will be streaming new episodes with the digitally remastered version every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday through October. And then new episodes Wednesdays and Fridays starting in November. They'll eventually stream all 121 episodes of the anime for free on YouTube. Awesome. This premiered in 1988. Because this premiered in Japan in 1988 and aired on Nippon TV until 1992. It follows two culinary journalists produced by Shin-Ei Animation. I'm sure there are ads on that as well. Which is probably where they make the money, but I also think this is not something that they're trying to. They're probably not trying to make scads of money off of it. It's an anime from the 80s. Okay, put it on there, get a few bucks, great. See where it goes. But if you want to check out Oishinbo, it's free. Not a bad thing. Finally, we are getting when you think of all the anime that you might want to make a stage play out of, the one that comes to mind to me is Psycho Pass. That's right. Psycho Pass is getting a stage play. Butai Psycho Pass Virtue and Vice 2, which will run November 20th through 29th at the Mijizawa Theater in Tokyo, and December 3rd through 6th at the Cool Japan Park Osaka WW Hall in Osaka. And yes, that is a thing that's going to happen. This is actually the second Psycho Pass stage play. Technically, this is a sequel, and it is this will be the first one was an all-new story with new characters in the Public Safety Bureau Criminal Investigation Department. There's an image on ANN, and yes, giant gun. That's still a thing in there. So yeah,
I guess what I want. So are the first 30 rows going to have like ponchos, or are you going to be given plastic sheets to wear? And
like a Gallagher show?
Like a Gallagher show, they're going to be like, here's a psycho.
See, when you say things like this is going to be a stage show, what immediately comes to mind is there's a Robot Chicken sketch where they do the Wrath of Khan as an Italian opera.
It fits. Let's be honest. It fits.
You know, and and I will give it this much: Seth Green and Matt Senreich did a fantastic job because it's well sung in Italian, and it's actually genuinely interesting. But just the ludicrous aspect of all of that, you know, having Shatner singing in Italian, it's just insane. So that's all I can think of is like Psychopaths, the stage play. It's like, whose fever dream is this? Why do they keep doing this?
Hey, you know, there was a Ghost in the Shell theatrical play.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my god.
It's,
you know,
interesting times. Maybe, I don't know. It's
there's merchandising, and then there's just insanity.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very different. I mean, Steve can attest to the operatic crowd. It's a kind of, you know, stage play is a very different crowd than like your average hikikomori sitting at home on their computer watching stuff.
Although granted, in Japan, you know, there's a long-standing tradition of oddball stage plays, and oddball is probably a ineffective term, but you know, of people putting on stage plays for very, very specific things, right? Like, why not?
Yeah, just all the people showing up in limousines and tuxedos and ball gowns and stuff, coming in to watch Psychopaths. I think this is going to be a wonderful presentation this evening.
I can just see the review on this, and it was very fine until I got the one character's eyebrows stuck in my left eye after he exploded.
Competent stage play with effective special effects. The splatter screens were highly recommended for most people who are going to attend the evening show. Thank you.
Yeah. You have not lived until you have seen the Prince of Tennis musical. Just going to put that out there. It's on. You can
there
see
is?
on YouTube. Oh, yes. There was a Prince of Tennis live musical. The opening theme song is literally, I am Prince of Tennis, I am Prince of Tennis, and it kind of goes on from there. It's amazing.
Oh my god. Okay, so I keep thinking about this stupid little bad robotic theater that I have on another YouTube channel of mine. I just have clips of like old 50s robots, GIF clips, and I just do robotic voices behind screenplays, like actual Shakespeare and stuff, and put it up there. And I'm just like, wow, bad robotic theater is actually art compared to Psychopaths stage play. How the hell did that happen?
Well, I'm just waiting for the Ashita no Joe ballet. It's going to be that's going to be followed by the Megalobox tap dancing extravaganza. Awesome entertainment. Entertain me.
Get your e-ticket now. Oh my god.
This is not a matinee show. Go for the primetime show. Box seat recommended.
I cannot get Ishida no Joe ballet out of my head. No, it's still there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Okay.
Time for more tea, Brent. More tea will make the images go away.
Oh, screw the tea. Now I'm imagining the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure ballet. Like, that's got to be a thing, right?
It's pretty close as it is.
It's true. It is basically. I mean, it's already opera. It might as well.
How about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the Park, featuring Patrick Stewart?
Ooh.
Are you gonna kill me?
Wow. It's an acting and physical tour de force by Sir Patrick Stewart. Brilliant, says the Chicago Tribune.
God.
What the hell happened, says the New York Times. The Miami Herald says, we couldn't understand it either.
Dang. Oh, dear.
God.
Oh, no.
I think we're all broken now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. There's nothing. That's it. Yeah. I need to go back to playing my Battle Maiden with a Claymore in Genshin Impact. I'm just done. Yep. Mm-hmm.
With your little assistant person who sounds so much like Ruby Rose from RWBY.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't wait to find out who the voice actor cast is on that one.
Yeah.
Very curious about that.